Today's episode is about the normative model, writing down what your agent is supposed to do. Now, let's look right here. So we have the following log. So this is a normal log. You have what your agent actually did across different runs. We feed that to an inductive miner. If you don't know what's the inductive miner, I have actually a video on my channel that explains precisely what it is. And we receive the following model. So you have receive, search, draft, confirm, pay, close, whatever. It looks legit. That's the point here. Now, if we score it, we're gonna get 100% as a replay fitness. So it's just saying that it's perfect. But the problem here is that what we're doing is that we are grading the exam with its own answer key, because this model was built by this, and if there is a problem here, then this model could be wrong. So we are grading bidirectionally, and of course I'm getting 100%, or maybe you would get close to 100%. This is a problem that is at the heart of agentic process mining. I'm gonna call it circular trap. So this is a naming that I'm giving myself. So it's not really a textbook term, it's more something that's coming from me. So here I want you to differentiate between two things. You're gonna have what is called in the scientific society a de facto model. It's the mirror of your log. So it describes your log what is. So it's built from behavior, and it will always give you 100%, as I told you already. There is the jure, and this is the ruler, the model that describes what should happen, and here you can actually catch a drift. So the thing that you really need, and we need to discuss deeply in our series, is how to build this ruler. Because the mirror we already have, and we really do not want to measure our log against our mirror. That would be just, useless. So this de jure de facto language is actually coming from the papers of Professor Will van der Aalst, and you could use reference model. These are all synonyms, of course. So why can't Discovery just hand you the ruler, of course? The ruler is the model we are measuring against. If we take the flower model, so this is the type of model we already discussed before, and it's allowing every activity out there. It's a perfect one, as you can see here, but the precision is at 0.25. So it's a terrible precision with great fitness. And it usually means that it's useless to use as a ruler. Now, even at its theoretical best, Discovery rediscovers the process that generated the log. So never the one you really intended. You really need to know the industry to be able to have your own happy path. So if the agent did something, no algorithm will invent a rule requiring it. If it always did something forbidden, what Discovery will do, it will bless it. It will bless the forbidden part. It will bless this, which is catastrophic. So intent is not in the log. So here, what we need to have is that the norm has to come from somewhere else, and it should not come from the code. Why not from the code is because the code is describing the mechanism, not the intent of your process. And a prompt to your agent is an intention the model follows probabilistically. So it's basically rules that are buried mid-context, and iteration after iteration, that context will be lost. And one thing you realize with agents is that constraints decay over long runs. How often these slips happen, it depends on the model, of course, and the rules, like how big the context window of your model is. All of these we can talk about in another episode. There is no really one single number that will tell you that. So the norm is something you author, so it's intent, and it should be made external and explicit. So what you do is that you need to write it down and separate it from the code and the prompt. That's the whole point of this episode. Now, what you actually need to do right now is separate the must from the should. So you have your processes, tac, and you yourself, you need to decide, for example, to say you must confirm before pay or log tool every call. These are hard constraints. And then you have your softer ones that could be just a variant of your process, so they are not as problematic as the hard ones. Ones are violations, and the others are, yeah, a variant or deviation, or you could call them around. Now, you can enforce must at runtime. This already happened with agent spec, and it's clean precedent. Each rule here is a trigger. You have your check, you have your enforce. For example, on pay, if the user has not confirmed, you force an inspection, as you can see it in this pseudocode. So you always need to keep one distinction straight, is that with agent spec, what we are preventing is problems at runtime. Conformance checking catches these problems, these violations, after the fact. So they are different jobs. They come after in different life cycles of the execution of your agent. And we will talk about this more in episode 13. So you as an engineer, you might be asking, what does writing it down look like? So it could be Petrinet or BPMN diagram, but you need to author it by hand. You need to define what is your happy path here. The mandatory checkpoint that you have here, for example, at confirm, becomes part of this. So pay right here is simply unreachable until confirm has fired. For example, that's a must. Then you could actually, if you see it in PM4Py, you could actually do this with PM4Py. I will not get into details about the code, but you have all your functions available there. You can convert from BPMN to Petrinet. Everything is open. You can also be a contributor. That would be nice for the community. And the point of this is to have a real artifact. You have a version controlled author that you author it once. Of course, you as an engineer could modify this, but retrospectively, after the execution, after you see your agent acting in production, and it's checked against every run forever. So in today's episode, we have spoken why we need a ruler. We have spoken about the musts versus the shoulds. We have talking about how you need to build your Petrinet and BPMN, and how the norm comes from intent, not from behavior. Next episode we will be talking about conformance. And if you like my content, please like and subscribe and follow me on LinkedIn. Thank you.